Welcome to the campus of Manual High School for tonight's game between the Alma Pepin Eagles and your Manual Lutheran Lancers. Please stand and move your hats as Elizabeth Fox leads us in the national anthem. Please support players, coaches, officials, and positive comments in the 6th grade for administration of the actions will not be tolerated and grounds for the Please be aware of the possibility of all players who will choose during the competition. Thank you and enjoy the game. Tonight at the manual is senior night, so we're going to recognize our seniors. But first I'd like to direct your attention to the east end of the gymnasium. Tonight we would like to acknowledge the volunteer coaching contributions of Roy Little. Roy started coaching in 1981, helping with the boys program coaching on the JV level. Throughout the years that followed, whenever there was a coaching vacancy, Roy was willing to fill that need. He served as Varsity boys assistant coach for several years before switching to the girls program in 1998, serving as an assistant coach or head coach since then for our girls JV team. If you have been coached by Roy Little at some time in your life, please stand now. Several families can make the claim of having 2 generations of players coached by Roy Little. Presenting Roy with a plaque is longtime Emmanuel coach Ron Roya. The plaque reads, "To Roy and grateful recognition for serving as coach over a period of 35 years. Thank you, Roy Little." And now we'd like to honor our seniors in the basketball program tonight. First senior, number 22 from Okabena, Minnesota, Jonah Alma. From Muskego, Wisconsin, number 14, Sam Lisa. From Fulda, Minnesota, number 34, Calvin Ryan. Eau Claire, number 12, Brian Sito. And from Martinez, Georgia, number 24, Matthew White. Also our student managers, Jossie Gamble and Leah Atkinson. Now for our starting lineups. First for Alma Pepin. Senior number 3, Trevor Height. Junior number 13, Ben Miller. Senior number 15, James Sterry. Senior number 21, Logan Carroll. And junior number 24, Peyton Hockey. Now Pepin's coach by Logan Miller. And now for your Lancers. Senior number 10, Riley Sutton. Senior number 13, Sam Lisa. Senior number 22, Jonah Albright. Senior number 24, Matt White. And senior number 34, Calvin Ryan. That's coached by Tom Williams, assisted by Joe Lounge on the right.
Welcome inside the field house of Emmanuel Lutheran High School for tonight's boys varsity matchup between the Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Alma Pepin Eagles. Our final broadcast of the season here for the guys varsity team. We'll feature the first and second place teams in the Dairyland Small. Alma Pepin being the leader and champion as of now. There's no way that Emmanuel can pull ahead of them. And the second place Lancers here tonight. It is senior night, so we'll have the 5 seniors other than Brian Sito, who has started every game this year, starting here tonight. We got Sotnick, Lisak, Albrecht, Ryan, and Matt White jumping against Caden Hockey, a junior from Alma Pepin. Ben Miller tracks down the tip won by Hockey, and here we go. Some quickness with Sotnick and Height up top. It's going to lead to a jump ball, giving the Lancers possession here early, despite losing the tip. So Jonathan Gamble and David Hine, typical starters for the Lancers, as well as Brian Sito, now on the bench right now. We'll see how quickly they get in. The lob into Ryan is picked off. Not a good idea with the jumps of Hockey back there. And here come the Eagles. Sterry in the corner. He's guarded by Ryan. Not a very good matchup for Ryan against this team as he gets driven by Sterry. Here's Lisak with a short jumper. No good. Matt tries to get on the board. It'll go to the Eagles. Matt White's down. It's a problem with the left leg. Both teams will go back into the huddle as White is still being looked at. Doesn't seem like he's able to get up under his own power, or at least not safely. Most likely a sprain. Otherwise, Matt would probably be in excruciating pain with an injury like this. He'll be getting up, not under his own power entirely. Shoe off. A little gimpy as he goes over to the trainer's corner there. Sitto in for White here. Still all seniors, not the original intended starting lineup. Here's Sterry up top on the right wing. Hockey in the top of the key, guarded by Albrecht. Height comes off the screen. Lisak switches onto him. Here's Sterry for three. James Sterry with 5 here early. Not a very good matchup for Calvin Ryan, as Hockey is a very mobile big, and he's quick, and he's got a lot more jumps, and you got to have a guy like Albrecht or Gamble on him. And Sterry's getting the best of Ryan here early. Some nice motion there from the Lancers. Gets Brian Sitto the jumper. Hockey up top, guarded by Albrecht for now. Gamble getting ready to come in. Carroll gets around Sitto. That's too easy right there. And Carroll will have a chance at 3 points.
Falls on Bengals number 12, Brian Sitto. That's his first personal team's first. Checking in for the Lancers, number 42, John Gamble.
Gamble comes in for Ryan. Most likely he'll be switched on to Hockey, and Albrecht on to number 15 there, Sterry.
At the line, shooting 1, Logan Carroll.
Carroll can't get it to go. Board for Gamble. Pushes ahead to Sotnick. Sitto comes off a screen from Gamble. This time the jumper's not completely open. Gamble for 2. A little bit off, and board to the Eagles. Ahead to Sterry. Guarded by Albrecht. Sterry's shot, no good. Across the middle of the lane there. Here's Sitto back the other way. Lisak with some open real estate along the baseline. He's blocked. Here's Miller. Carroll for 3. A dangerous shooter to leave open. Didn't shoot too well in their first matchup at Pepin, but he did shoot pretty well, I believe, in the last home game we had last year against Alma Pepin. Trevor Height with the easy steal and score there. 9-2 here early for the Eagles. Albrecht to Gamble. Albrecht cuts down in. Sotnick. A little congested in the middle for the Lancers. Here's Sitto along the baseline. Lisak to Gamble. Gamble drives right. Finds Sotnick. Sotnick all the way in. Can't get it to go. Albrecht gets it up and in. A good offensive board there for Jonah. Leads to the 2 points. Cross screen coming on Lisak there. Down screen, actually. Here's Carroll open on the 3-point line again. Sitto closes out. Back up top to Height. Sterry posting up inside with the size mismatch on Albrecht, but there's an offensive foul on Trevor Height.
Falls on Alma Pepin's number 3, Trevor Height. That's his first personal team's first.
First foul of the night for the Eagles. Gamble gets pushed, or falls over. Might have been a push. That's what Gamble will argue for. And on the trap, a foul is called. My bad on the introductions. I'm Gunny Sippert.
I'm James Schaser. And our cameraman is not Clay Bobeck. It is Brent Rutz.
Brent Rutz is filling in for Clay, who is with his fellow seniors tonight in the stands. Height over to Carroll. Hockey posted up in the corner. He goes baseline on Gamble. Gamble falls over again. This time no foul is called. We got a kick by Alma Pepin. David Hine in for Lisak. And now we've got the usual starters with the exception of Sotnick for Ryan. A smaller lineup against a quicker, smaller team in Alma Pepin. Here's David Hines, first touch of the game. He gets it on the left wing. Gives it up to Albrecht. Albrecht with the deep 2. That's good. Last time these teams played, Jonah Albrecht went off for 26. He's got 4 here within the first 5 minutes. David Hines tips it out of bounds. It'll remain with the Eagles as the Lancers have now cut the deficit to 3. A box inbounds play here. Height will inbound. Lobs it in for Hockey. 2-3 for the Lancers as they usually do on inbounds plays. If you're wondering why Sotnick was on Hockey there, they've seemed to switch back in. Nope, they're still in their 2-3. Height runs along the baseline there. Up to the left wing, here's Carroll. Gives to Hockey short corner. Sterry in the deep corner. He's got some pressure from 2 Lancers and a travel spot. Sterry had a lot of pressure on him. And he tried to drive it to the hoop himself, or at least a little bit in. And that spin move ended up costing him. Lancers also going against man defense. Half-court man defense at least. Sotnick looking inside to Sito. Sito with the 2. That's good. The mid-range to deep 2 game has accounted for 6 of the Lancers' 8 points here tonight. 2 jumpers made by Sito and 1 by Albrecht. Albrecht and Sito, the Lancers' 2 top scorers with averages of 13.0 and 9.1 per game. Each have 4 tonight.
Falls on Bengals number 42, John Campbell. That's his first personal team serve. At the line, shooting 2, Ben Miller.
Miller hits the first off the foul by Gamble.
If anyone wants to text in with questions, comments, concerns, number at the top of the screen.
Lisak back in for Sotnick here. Miller gets 1 of 2. Gamble at the board. Sito looking ahead. He has some options deep. Nothing too sure though. It was smart not to force anything. Hines sets a screen for Gamble. Gamble looking inside. Over to Albrecht. Albrecht attacking. Drops to Sito. Sito with the runner. Doesn't go. Here's Ben Miller back the other way. Hockey in transition. Albrecht with the straight-up defense. Hockey gets up there for the offensive board and puts it in. The junior's first points of the night there come on his own putback. Hine goes in. The runner from Hine is short. The Lancers are trying to push things in the middle of the court right now. Some shots they've gotten to go have been outside. Those drives to the hoop, none of them have been made, and the only points that have come off of them were an offensive rebound by Albrecht, and then he put it in. The 3 from Carroll is no good again. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Gamble up top. Sito looking to find some space. Height's a very quick defender and tenacious on the defensive side of the ball. Hines sets the screen. Sito has to force a pass to Albrecht, and Albrecht draws a foul from Sterry.
Falls on the Pepin, 15 Sterry. That's his first personal team seconds. Second in for Alma Pepin, number 11, Jonah Bacon. Number 22, Cole Engstrand.
Cole Engstrand and Jonah Bacon sub in for the Eagles, as Sotnick subs in for the Lancers. Sito gives it up to Hine. Hine for 3. No good. The board is grabbed by Caden Hockey, who averages 11 rebounds a game. Pass is tipped by Gamble, out of bounds. It'll stick with Emmanuel. Hockey averages a double-double a game with 22.7 points and 11.4 rebounds. They lob it into Height there on the inbound. Bacon over to Height. Engstrand in the corner. Height inside to Engstrand. Engstrand kicks it out to Carroll. Engstrand dishes to Hockey, and Hockey will finish. Gamble dribbles down. He's guarded by Caden Hockey. Two juniors up top there as Sitto gives it to Sotnick. Sotnick picks up his dribble. Pass is picked off by Hockey. And back comes Height. Carroll in the corner here. Sitto comes up on him with the dead ball there. Swing it around. Being pretty patient here on offense are the Eagles. Carroll, give and go to Hockey. The two is good. Showing some range there was Caden Hockey. And now the Lancers are getting doubled up by a score of 8-16. The last time these teams met was back in January at Pepin on a Monday. No JV game, and the Lancers showed up kind of late. They didn't know the game was at 7 instead of 7:30, so they had 2 minutes before warm-ups, and then they're on the floor. They actually came out pretty well for not being in their usual routine, and we're up 8 at half, and we're up 8 late in the game. Ended up blowing the lead, going to overtime, and that's when Alma Pepin took control and ended up winning the game 87-75 in overtime. All Alma Pepin starters, which are the same as tonight. Those 5 starters, they all scored double digits. And Hockey had 24 and 12 that game. Albrecht had 26 for the Lancers, and Sitto had 19 with 5 assists. Gamble back up to Sitto. Sotnick for 3. Good! Riley is 5 for 8 on threes on the season, shooting over 60%. Albrecht with the steal, back the other way is Jonah. The ball is stripped by Bacon in midair. Here's Sotnick. Sotnick goes up strong, and one. Cole Engstrand is called for the blocking foul there. Ben Miller subs back in. Riley can't complete the three-point play. The rebound comes to Carroll. Engstrand guarded by Albrecht. Drives in, kicks to Ben Miller. Ben Miller for 3. He'll sink that. David Hine wide open, down on the right block. Riley just simply found the open man there, and David made the easy bucket. 4-point lead for the Eagles here. And a pretty high-scoring affair thus far. Inside to Ben Miller. Here comes the pass from Bacon. Back out to Engstrand. Engstrand's jumper no good. Hine with the board. Sitto guarded by Bacon. Sotnick goes left over to Sitto. Sitto for 3. Deep left wing. And Brian absolutely drained it. Sterry and Height getting ready to come back in here. Logan Carroll with the answer. Putting the Eagles lead back at 4. After it was at 1 for a short moment. Hine's pass is picked off by Bacon, and he'll also draw a foul from Sitto.
Brian Sitto, that's his second personal. Team score.
Brian will have to come off here with 2 fouls early. Hockey comes off for the first time this game, I believe. Carroll as well, as Bacon and Engstrand stay in. Off the bench, Ben Miller with a nice drive there. Down into the Lancers defense. Calvin Ryan also back in for the Lancers along with Lisak. Sotnick looking inside for Albrecht. It's picked off by Engstrand. Here's Height forcing the issue. Foul's going to be called on the Eagles after the rebound.
Falls on Alma Pepin's number 15, James Sterry. That's his second personal, team 4.
Sterry's second. Both teams have 4, and both teams have a player with 2. Sotnick down into Albrecht. Albrecht goes up across his body, grabs his own board. Jonah can't finish as he's swarmed by Eagles. Miller for 3 again. This one comes up short. Rebound is tipped out to Albrecht. Jonah forcing the issue. Thought about passing it to Lisak there. Decided to drive it in instead. And gets the layup.
Almost picked up his dribble when he thought about passing to Lisak.
I thought he did.
Somewhat.
There didn't seem to be too much outrage from the Eagles fans about a missed double dribble. Engstrand goes baseline. Kicks out to Height. Height for 3. No good. Albrecht can't grab the board. Sterry can't grab it initially. Controls, and there's the board by Jonah. Up ahead to Sotnick. Riley can't get it to go, but he's fouled on the fast break there. Riley will be shooting 2. He missed his first earlier on an and 1 attempt.
At the line shooting 2, Riley Sotnick.
Riley gets that one to go. Height's second. And although it is pretty early, and Height and Sterry only have 2, if the Lancers can get the Eagles into foul trouble, that could play a major key down the stretch here in this game. Riley gets both to go from the line, and the Lancers are only down by a bucket. 2-3 now for the Lancers consistently, not just on the inbounds. Deep corner is Sterry. Height will cut through again and cut around as his teammates rotate. Miller kicks to Sterry. Sterry for 3. No good. Touches the top of the backboard, and that's out of bounds. A lot of range being showed off by the Eagles. All of their starters except Hockey have attempted a 3-pointer in this game, and 3 of them have made them in Sterry, Miller, and Carroll. Height, we know, can make 3s. The Lancers know that all too well. 2 years ago, he made a buzzer-beating 3 to win the game at Pepin in a varsity game as a sophomore. You see Riley going baseline here.
That was beautiful.
An incredible amount of spin on that. You could just tell by the way he flipped it up there, and the angle had to go off the glass. Sterry gives it up to Miller. Carroll. Height coming through. Here's Sterry in the middle of the lane. Miller tries to put it back with one hand. No good. And it's a tie game here at 24 after the Lancers were just down 6. Hein kicks to Sotnick. Sotnick for 3. That's going to end up short. And that hits a wire above the hoop. Not often too often we see that. As I was saying, 2 years ago, Trevor Height as a sophomore hit a buzzer beater to win it for Alma Pepin. And needed late in that game in January this year, Trevor Height, now a senior, hit a 3 as he takes one here and makes it. He made a 3 to tie up the game late, and eventually that game was sent to overtime.
Lancers had 10 seconds after the 3 to get a shot off.
It was to tie it at 75, I believe,
yeah.
Or whatever it was, as they're going into
Lancers
overtime.
had 10 seconds to take a shot and passed up 2 or 3 open shots to get a last second shot.
Yep.
Contested shot by Brian Seto that hit rim, I believe.
Team 6,
So Trevor Height for 3 is the call, or at least something the Lancers know all too well, as you saw him make his first there. He gets the steal here, and he'll have a 2 most likely. And 1. And after,
not sure about that foul. Riley didn't even raise his hands.
And after,
attempt to block it.
After Lancers close the gap again, it's back open to 5 as an Eagles player takes control. This time it's Height. Hockey at his first foul on the other end on the previous possession on Ryan. Lancers will be in the single bonus on the next foul by Alma Pepin. They swing it around to Ryan, looking inside to Hine and Gamble. Here comes Sotnick. He gets it, but he's got a lot of pressure from Height. Sotnick turns it over. Here comes Miller. Nice job by Lisak to pick him off. Lisak with the double dribble. It's a great atmosphere with the crowd tonight, but the Lancers players like Sotnick and Lisak are they're getting full of the fans' hype. And I think it might be causing some players to be a little jittery. As you saw Riley kind of dribble it off his foot there, something he typically doesn't do, and Sam with the double dribble, something you don't see a player typically ever do. And timeout will be called by Tom Williams.
Remember to text in. Last year, Alma and Pepin both showed up at the home game and texted in a lot.
Number 44 there, Nick Spencer. He texted us throughout the whole game.
I had a running conversation with him.
He plays this year.
I've yet to see if he remembers us.
I don't think he does.
I think he does. I have faith.
Height swings it over to Carroll as they try to break this 2-3 and get the Lancers back into man. But I think they would prefer it with a mismatch with Hockey on pretty much anybody. He does a pretty good job against the zone, too, as he picks up his 4th basket there, putting him at 8 points on the night. Lancers down 7 after a 7-0 run by the Eagles. Follows up the Lancers' 6-0 run that tied it at 24. Ryan to Sotnick. Hine inside to Ryan. Calvin with his first look tonight. Ooh, can't get it to go. Over Hockey. Miller to Height in transition. They slow it down with no numbers. Lisak tries to jump the pass. Carroll gets it into Hockey. David tries to throw it off Hockey.
White ball.
And succeeds. Yep. Good job by David there not to travel on his knees there. And made the heads-up play. 2.5 minutes left in the first half here. Eagles up 7. Riley Sotnick looking inside to Ryan. Riley needs some help. Gets it over to Gamble on the skip pass. Gamble gets a screen, goes up into Sterry, can't get it to go. Back comes Carroll. Carroll slows it down, he's got a 3-on-3 at best.
Lancers had potential on that last play. Height was guarding Calvin Ryan for a bit, so a bit of a mismatch, but then they fixed it.
Yeah, if you can get Hockey off your post, it's a mismatch, most likely. As none of the other players really compare in size, except for Sterry. He's got some bulk to him. Hockey's jumper's no good, but he is fouled. After the Eagles get a offensive rebound on that air ball from Miller. David's first foul. The Eagles truly have been hit or miss from 3. It's been a lot of bad misses and a bunch of makes, as they're 4 for some number. I haven't been keeping track of attempts.
Lancers have been having a problem with passes. They've been somewhat telegraphing them, and Alma Pepin has gotten a couple of steals off of that.
Yeah, they like to jump the pass on defense, which if you're going to try to force stuff, as Riley forces up a shot there, Carroll back the other way. If you're going to try to force stuff against those people that are going to jump the pass, they're going to take it. You have to take a different approach when the team's just going to constantly jump. They got a trap on Hockey in the corner. Here's Bacon to Miller. Carroll for 3. That's good. Carroll's got 8 points, and the Lancers are now down 11. Ryan in the corner. Hine gets the screen from Ryan after the pass to him. And there it is again, the jump. Here's Hockey in transition. He goes up and 1. He was totally looking for the dunk as Gamble is not going to let him have it. Basket counts, puts Hockey at double digits with 10.
Number 42, Jonathan Gamble. That's his second personal, team 7. Checking in for the Lancers, Jonah Albright. At the line, shooting 1, Peyton Hockey.
Matt White back on the bench from the
trainer's corner.
Also for the Lancers, Brian Sitto.
Sitto and Albrecht come in for Ryan and Gamble. Hockey completes the 3-point play. It's a 14-point lead off a 14-0 run by the Eagles. Really silenced the Lancers' momentum. Sitto inside to Albrecht. Albrecht with the hook. And Jonah will get some life into the Lancers before halftime. He had a couple of those at Pepin back in January. Bacon to Sterry in the corner. Sterry guarded by Lisak. Lancers still in their 2-3 zone. They've gotten a couple threes hit off them.
Alma going for last shot.
But the Lancers have had some pretty good possessions in the zone. And man didn't seem to be working, with mismatches kind of occurring all over the place. Bacon for 3. 5th player to attempt one for the Eagles. David Hine, no good on the last second attempt. And at the half, the Lancers are down 12. 38-26, Alma Pepin leads. Lancers show some promise in the middle of the half as Riley Sotnick and Brian Sitto had those couple buckets to string together some momentum for the Lancers, but just absolutely killed by Height, Miller, Carroll, Hockey, all the starters for Alma Pepin. Alma Pepin's not an incredibly deep team, as only 7 of their players average more than 1 point a game. You can imagine it's the 5 starters and 2 from the bench. Hockey averages 22.7, as I said before. Carroll 13.8, Height with 13.2. And Ben Miller and James Sterry are the 4th and 5th leading scorers. Not sure in which order. They're not incredibly deep, but their starters play some incredible ball with the amount of chemistry that they do have built throughout this season. The tournament brackets for the state championship were released on yesterday, for all divisions, and if you want to switch that, James, to bottom right. We've got Alma Pepin's game and Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran. Alma Pepin is in a different sectional of the Lancers, so don't be confused that this is 1 through 16 technically, but this is separate sectionals. Alma Pepin is the 4 seed in Hillsborough's regional. Hillsborough is one of the top D5 teams in the state. Alma Pepin, the Dairyland Small Champions, with a 4 in a really tough regional. I believe Blair Taylor had the 3 in that one, and I can't remember who had the 2. But they'll play Kickapoo, the Panthers from the... I believe it's the... Shoot, I can't remember what conference they're from. But not a team that the Lancers would typically play, but they are from the western part of the state. And Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran will look for some retribution 2 years in the making against the Thorpe Cardinals after they were knocked out in the sectional semifinal by the Cardinals 2 years ago at Rice Lake by Dakota Lindgren and company against Jack Milkey and Brandon Wendland and Caleb Oster. They lost 52-47 in that heartbreaker up in Rice Lake. This will be the first meeting since then, as these teams typically only meet in regional play. We most likely won't be broadcasting the game, as it is a $250 fee for any postseason game to be broadcasted. We can talk about the possibilities of doing a postseason game. I just don't see it happening.
We don't have a budget.
Where did they play this weekend?
Before the postseason occurs for the Lancers, though, it will be the Dairyland crossover at Oliva Strum this weekend. I'll be going. I believe the Lancers will most likely place Cochrane Fountain City again, but they also might get another shot at Blair Taylor, depending on who wins the Blair Taylor and CFC's final matchup.
Another important thing about the bracket is you don't see McDonald in our region.
Yeah.
Who knocked us out last year.
They did it different this year, where they had super regionals of 16 teams. So you see the bottom half there, with Clayton being the 2 seed. McDonald's the 1. They're at the way top of it. You can look these up on wisports.net, or just search WIAA Boys State Basketball Tournament or something like that. Yeah, McDonald is the 1, as they are the number 1 ranked team in Division 5 in the whole state. So if the Lancers were to make it to the sectional final, they would have to beat the Max in the sectional semifinal, and they would have to get past Thorpe and most likely Rib Lake, who is the number 3 seed, and the Clayton Bears, who are the number 2 seed, who the Lancers had to play a couple years ago on their way to losing to Thorpe. They beat Clayton in the regional semifinal up at the Bears' place. I believe that was by only 3 points. The Lancers could not make their free throws that night.
Rice Lake is not the place that we were playing.
I think it's Spooner for the sectional semifinal.
There's a
or maybe that's the final.
No, the final was a really weird name that I didn't know how to pronounce.
I think I've got it up actually on a separate thing. Here we are. Oh yeah, it's at Shitek Weyerhaeuser.
Yes,
that's where the sectional final is. The sectional semifinal. The sectional final will be at Spooner.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yep, the other half of the bracket, the number 1 seed is McDonald. They'll play Flambeau. Clear Lake against New Auburn in the 9-8 matchup. Number 5 Prairie Farm against 12 Bruce, and 13 Cornell against 4 Owen Withy.
We also played Bruce on our way to the semifinal.
Oh yeah, that was the game here, the regional quarterfinal. And Turtle Lake, as you can see on the screen, is the number 7 seed or 10 seed. They'll play at Prentice. And then for any Alma Pepin people that might be watching, we can switch over here. Oh, the number 2 seed was Bangor in their regional, by the way. They've got Blair Taylor in their super regional, as well as Bangor. Oliva Strum is the 7, playing Independence, a Dairyland matchup there, as Independence is the 10. The rest of the Dairyland comes either in this regional or a D4 one. Augusta is the number 8 seed in that regional, as you can see on your graphic there. Blair Taylor a 3. And then Melman and CFC, Lincoln, and Whitehall are all in the same D4 regional. Melman's got a bye as they're still undefeated. CFC's got a bye as they're a 2 seed. Lincoln's a 4, and they'll play Whitehall a 13. So another intra-conference matchup for the Dairyland there. Eagles back out on the floor. We'll switch actually to the Eagles roster for now. As you can see, they've got a roster of 12 guys, but only 7 have played tonight. Only 6, I believe, played at Pepin.
Are you hungry? He's thirsty.
What?
He's thirsty.
What do you want?
Tea.
Iced tea.
Only 6 played at Pepin. They've got a record of 14-3 with 10-3 in conference. Their only 3 losses have come to the top 3 teams in the large, so Melman, CFC, Blair Taylor. They lost to CFC by 3 at home. They lost to Blair Taylor by 3 at home, and they lost to Melman by 5 on the road. Alma Pepin has another regular season game on Thursday before the crossover against St. Croix Central, who you saw the Lancers play December of 2014 now. Last season, technically. And then they move on to the crossover, where they will play Dairyland large champion Melrose Medoro, who is ranked number 2 in the Division 4 state pool. and then they will play Kickapoo next Tuesday in the regional quarterfinal. All of the Dairyland is in action tonight. Usually a team is left out because we've got an odd number, but Gilmanton plays Mondovi in a non-conference game, so everybody's in action. Alma Pepin, Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran here. Mondovi at Gilmanton, and Indy at Oliva Strum. That's actually the exact same game they'll play next Tuesday, 8 days from now, in the regional quarterfinal. AC Lincoln travels to Augusta. CFC Blair Taylor, that's the game that decides who the Lancers play on Saturday. And last place Whitehall travels to first place Melman, as the Mustangs look to go to 20-0, as they're currently at 19. You see there, CFC at 14-4, Blair Taylor 13-6, AC Lincoln 12-8. A really solid top four for the large, and then Augusta was 6-14, Whitehall 2-17, and then for the small, you can see the two teams we got playing here: 14-3. Alma Pepin, 11-8, Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran. Oliva Strum at 6-13. Gilmanton with a 5-12 record. India with a 6-12 record, but they have a worse conference record at only 1-11. Their only win coming against Gilmanton in December, I believe. Both of these teams' most recent games have been against Oliva Strum. Last Tuesday, the Lancers played what I thought was their best game of the year against the Cardinals. This year it seems like the Cardinals bring out the best in Emmanuel, as they've had two really quality victories. They won by 13 last Tuesday, and then Oliva traveled to Alma to play the Eagles on Thursday. Ended up losing that one by 25, as they got down 18 at the half, and the Eagles just kept rolling in the second. I thought the Lancers played incredibly well against Oliva Strum. Everything was dropping. They were 27 of 52 from the field, 8 of 13 from the line, and they only took 5 threes, made 1. So it was really a smart game played by the Lancers on the road. And you can see here, Oliva Strum had a couch in their gym, and the seniors gathered on there. You can see all of them. From top to bottom, it's left to right on the picture, so White, Ryan, Lisak, Sito, Stotnick, Albrecht, and their respective towns.
Why does Lisak always look stupid in every picture he takes?
You can't say that just because you're his cousin. He could say the same thing about you. Calvin's looking a little dopey.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting that Eliza had a couch in their gym.
That was a nice couch.
Yeah. And back to the floor here. The Eagles will start out with the ball, up 12. The Lancers did cut down the lead by 2 at the end of the half, getting the last points of the first. Height to receive the inbound from Miller here. Ben Miller, who I believe is the younger brother of Sam Miller, who was one of the Eagles stars last year when we traveled to Alma to play Alma Pepin. Last year, Sam Miller was making absolutely everything. He was making threes, and he's a big guy, so he could get it in down low. He was kind of like what hockey is with more range, and now he plays at UW Superior. He kind of tag teamed along with his only other senior last year for the Eagles, I believe, Bryce Anibis, who was a first teamer in his own right. Albrecht down low. He's blocked by Hockey.
So do you think Hockey can dunk?
Oh, definitely. He was ready to on that fast break. He had to stop, though, because Gamble was catching up to him.
And shoved him.
Yeah, that too. He was probably going to. Last year, I believe the starting lineup was Hockey, Carroll, Height, Anibis, and Sam Miller. So Ben Miller and James Sterry replace Ben's brother and Anibis. Sterry was a solid contributor off the bench last year. I believe he was their 6th man pretty much. And Miller played some decent minutes. Probably what you would call the 7th man. Lancers back in the man. Brian said they're not looking to let Carroll get any more threes. He's got 2 on the night. Hockey with the short corner jumper. And Caden's having a pretty good game here tonight. He's already got 13. Hine looking into Albrecht on the cut. Sotnick open for a little split second there. Miller closes out. Gamble looking for the skip. It gets a little congested in the middle there. Albrecht, Hine, and Sitto really close to each other. Here's Sitto. Inside to Albrecht. It's tipped by Albrecht and stolen by Carroll. Up top, Hockey. Height on the right wing. Inside to Hockey. Here's the help from Sitto. It's not going to be enough as Hockey beats Albrecht inside. That actually puts Hockey at 17. Wait. Nope, that's 15. 15 points on the night. I did have it right earlier. Sitto, guarded by Hyde. The Lancers don't have much working on offense right now. They're scared to go to the middle with Sterry and Hockey in there. And some careless passes have caused turnovers. Here's Jonathan Gamble on the drive. Just as I say that, John pulls out a nice pump fake and goes by Sterry for the bucket. Here's Hockey again. This time he misses, grabs his own board, misses again, and Albrecht gets the board. Some better defense from the Lancers. Don't want to give him 3 chances, though. Sitto for 3. No good. Hine can get the board, though. Stripped for a split second. Hine with the jumper. That's good. David with 4. And it's back to 12. The same deficit as it was at the half. John Gamble and his teammates know you gotta watch it weak side. If Hockey's gonna get that feed in, you gotta be there for the help. Here's Hine in transition. Past Miller and in. Miller in, past Albrecht, and an easy drive to the hoop for Miller. Puts him at 8 points. Hine in transition again. The hustle down the floor is paying off for David. He'll get to the line here and have 2 shots.
Falls on Alma Pepin's number 21, Logan Carroll. It's his first personal team's first. At the line, shooting 2, David Hine.
The Lancers can keep having these pushes on offense, but it's not going to mean anything unless they can get a couple stops in a row on D. David hits the first. And he gets both. The deficit's back down to 10. David Hine's got 8 points on the night. Here's Carroll against Albrecht. And 1 for Logan Carroll. Again, Lancers not agreeing with the call, and I think Albrecht had some valid reasoning there. Albrecht's second personal. Carroll with the and 1 attempt. I think Jim Lau might have misspoke and said team 7th. At least that's what I heard. It was the team's 2nd. Maybe 1st, actually, of the half. Carroll to shoot 1 here. Carroll's currently at 10 points. Looking to make it 11 here. Can't get it to go. Albrecht with the board. Hine again, hustling down the left side of the floor. Gets to Gamble, short corner. Gamble's jumper no good. Board gets out to Height after it's grabbed by Carroll. Nice outlet pass. Sent Height out on the fast break. Hockey in the deep right wing. Gives to Sterry. Sterry to Miller. Miller goes right. Good defense by Hine on the one-on-one situation. Now Height trying to get something going by himself. Carroll. Now it's Carroll's turn. He goes to the bucket. He's blocked by Gamble. and Albrecht's got Sotnick on the outlet. A lot of one-on-one there for the Eagles. Sito along the baseline. Good cut. Foul inside will be on Sterry. That's his third. Engstrand getting ready to come back in.
Number 15, that's his third personal, team second. Checking in for Alma Pepin, number 22, Cole Engstrand.
Sito comes around on the inbounds play. Well run by the Lancers. Can't get it to go on the three-pointer. Possession remains with the Lancers. Off the tip. Timeout called by Tom Williams. So the Lancers... Oh, no, never mind. That was not a timeout. It's about to switch. Inbounds pass is tipped, stolen by Carroll. Miller with the two. No good. Gambles tries to dribble the rebound to himself. Gets it taken away. Miller hands it off to Carroll. The Eagles can be patient as they do have a 12-point lead. They don't have to be forcing too much. Step back for height. No good. Hine with the board. Gamble looking to swing it. Nobody there. Gives to Lisak, who has recently come back in the game. Smaller lineup here for the Lancers. Again, they try to force it into Albrecht in the post. It's not working tonight. Engstrand with the bucket. Engstrand's first points of either matchup between these teams. I don't believe he played in the first matchup. And one for Sam Lisak.
Falls on Alma Pepin's number 13, Ben Miller. That's his first personal, team third. At the line, shooting one, Sam Lisak.
Sam looking to complete the three-point play. As Sotnick and Ryan come back in.
For the Lancers, Calvin Ryan.
Doesn't look like Matt White will be back in tonight. He's got ice wrapped around his left ankle. And his basketball shoe is off. Lisak can't get the free throw to go down. And Miller comes back the other way. Height to Engstrand. Miller open on the left wing after he comes around some congestion in the middle. Carroll step back. Leads him nowhere. Engstrand to Height. Looking inside for Miller. Good help from Lisak and Ryan. And a foul is going to be called. David's second foul. Carroll to inbound. He gets it into Engstrand. Engstrand drives in. Here's Miller. Miller spin move on Hine. Shots are good. Good board by Lisak. And Sam draws the foul. Feel free to text in James. We haven't gotten one yet. I hope we have viewers. I'm going to check that out quick on Ustream.
The people who normally watch are here for
live now. 27 viewers. Why are you not texting in? Oh, if you are from Alma Pepin, don't feel shy or anything. In fact, your schools, both Alma and Pepin, were some of the best to text in and communicate with us last year.
Got to keep up that tradition.
Yeah, you got to follow Nick's footsteps. He's busy. He's busy on the court right now. Jonathan Gamble looking to go glass, maybe. No good.
We do give out rewards at the end of the season, so
you will get a big box of absolutely nothing. David Hine.
Gunny, don't promise them a box. We can't follow up on that.
Oh, that's true. You'll get absolutely nothing. That's going to go off Carroll out of bounds. All right, a 10-point deficit for the Lancers, but now they have the ball. If they can get it into single digits, this might be key for them. Yeah, I think those 27 viewers actually would be a lot of Alma Pepin because all the seniors' parents are here, at least most of, I think, probably almost all of them. I saw Mrs. White.
Mrs. White's here.
I don't think Mr. White is.
The Lisaks are here.
Yeah, the only parents that probably aren't here are...
The Ryans are here. The Hines are here.
Out of bounds. Yeah, the only parents that probably aren't here are the Nalmans. Because the Bucks would be here. They live in town, as well as the Siddos.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long drive from Washington.
Clarkston, Washington?
Washington.
Stop it. Doc Siddos influenced us too much.
Hey, Doc said that's the right way to say it, so.
It's because it's the way he says it.
I believe the Gambles are here.
Yeah, I saw it, Mr. Gamble.
The Albrechts are here.
Yep. So almost all the basketball players' parents, which makes sense.
The Bucks are probably here.
Yep. So
Mel's here.
I've got a feeling it's a lot of Alma Pepin fans watching. Feel free to text into James. Text number right there. That is your number, right?
Yes, that is my number.
I didn't mess that up at all. Okay.
No, just some random person.
Well, it might have been like a number off.
608 area code is getting a bunch of random texts saying the broadcast is going well or going terribly.
He's just like, I'm sorry. Carroll on the right wing. Over to Height. Height has some open room for three. Trevor Height might have gotten some rim, but it's no good. Back come the Lancers. Ryan had that low post locked down. If he would have hustled a little more, Gamble would have had a pass to him. Gamble tries to snag it with one hand, ends up falling him.
A lot of things just happened.
It ended up with Albrecht. That's what I'm going to say. That was like volleyball. What a ridiculous thing happens.
It was...
No, it's like when a player makes a mistake and then their teammates bail them out for a really cool 3 hits.
Yeah, like, no passes happened. Like, it was all just handoffs.
Yeah, like Gamble made the initial mistake, but we're going to cheer because it was unorthodox.
Gamble missed it, and then Alma Pepin player was...
Here we go. Calvin Ryan with the first bucket on the night for him. Bacon on the right way. To Engstrand. And the crowd's into it now. It's single digits. Double team on Hockey, and a traveler score.
Lancers getting pumped now with only an 8-point lead. And yes, we did get a text in from my Aunt Chris and Uncle Dave saying they're watching, and also my grandma and grandpa are watching. So a lot of people related to me watching for me.
They're watching for Sam.
I don't have a cousin who's a senior who's playing.
Number 14, folks.
And then a text from Mrs. Nauman saying they are watching from Clarkston.
All right.
Washington.
People were just being quiet tonight. You need to
draw them out.
Call them out. I didn't really agree with the travel call on Hockey down there. There was a lot of contact, and he was also, the ball was being touched as he was going down. The Lancers do give it right back up, though, on an offensive foul. Lisak has picked up his 2 fouls here.
Way to impress the family, Sam.
Look at James up here with 0 fouls.
Yeah.
And back comes Height. 2 starters off for the Eagles right now. Stereo with 3 fouls, and Carroll catching a breather. Carroll doesn't have any. Hockey in the corner. Gives to Height. Height with the deep 3. No good. Height has not been on from long range tonight. Hockey rips away the board from Albrecht.
Speaking of Albrecht, got a text in from Jonah's aunt and uncle from Egan.
Egan, Minnesota? All right. Good to hear. That wasn't the greatest time to say speaking of Albrecht, but Brian's in over 3, no good. Ryan with the board, back out to Brian. He will not try again. He'll try to get it into Jonah. Nice pass.
Speaking of Albrecht, his aunt and uncle are watching from Eden.
You were like a possession early.
I gotta remember that. Don't say speaking of someone after they do something bad.
I was about to say, and Brian tries again, this time from shorter range, and then he passed it. I was like, oh, nice play.
I thought it was just a really low shot.
Albrecht looking to cut the deficit to 7. He can't get it to go. The free throws are plaguing the Lancers here.
I believe we've made 2.
We've made 4.
4.
Sotnick and Hine both made 2 when they... I don't think we've gone 0 for 2 yet on a shooting foul. Offensive foul on Miller.
We've missed a lot of and ones.
The and ones. Can't get them to go.
Oh,
it's on stereo. That's his 4th.
Team 6.
Not good for the Eagles. Sotnick, ever the vocal leader of the Lancers there.
Always.
Getting matchups straightened out.
Even sophomore year on JV.
He's a loud guy.
You could hear him a court away.
Here comes Sotnick.
Oh, the Sotnicks are here too.
Oh, yeah. Sito inside to Albrecht. That time it's tipped. The Lancers have got to be careful with those passes into Jonah. Jonah was awarded second team all-conference for the Dairyland Small. Brian Sito first team all-conference. No honorable mentions for the Lancers this year. David Hine was the other option I had in mind, as he is the Lancers' third leading scorer and second leading rebounder, but only Albrecht and Sito this year, which was an improvement from just Caleb Nelner last year. Ryan blocked, but it remains with the Lancers. We've got a text in from the Sullivans in Heron Lake, Minnesota, watching in support of the Lancers. So a bunch of texts in from the Midwest area.
Finally.
Good to hear.
This is being quiet.
Although we're wearing white, it's Green Machine. Albrecht no good on the shot there.
There's green on our jerseys. Finally drew out texts from fans all around. If you haven't texted in, you know.
It's good to hear from you, especially road fans. No offense to the Emmanuel fans. Sotnick back the other way. He gets to Sito. Ryan goes into Bacon, draws the foul. We've got a text in from... That's my mom's number. Yeah, that's my grandpa and grandma are watching and listening to James and I and Brent. Sito gets the first.
Gotta put that in my phone.
Yeah. James looked a little confused. Like, there's no Lockanamy on the Alma Pepin score sheet.
And I was confused because I didn't want to pronounce Lockanamy.
Yeah, work on your finish.
I am German. If there was an SCH in there, I would have been set. But
all right. Sito hits both there as he picked up the foul on the fast break. Lancer ball. Only down 6 here. They got to keep it going. They can't let up at any point on this comeback trail. We've got a nice, good broadcast. Let's go Lancers. Text in. Those are great, too. Sito draws some separation on the back cut there. Over to Sotnick on the long skip pass. Sito inside to Albrecht. A safe pass this time. Albrecht up and in. Pretty impressive look there from Jonah. Inside to Sterry. He tries to go through Albrecht and Gamble. Can't. Lancers down 4. Here comes Sito. Bryant into the lane. Forces up a shot. Didn't need to take that one. And the rebound's going to come to Albrecht. Albrecht for 2. No good. Not the greatest shot choices there by Sito and Albrecht. And the trap was ill-advised as a foul is called.
Got a text in from the Bartles, watching from Dallas-Fort Worth.
All right. See, the floodgates open once you call out the people.
Where were you guys the first half?
We were dying.
The floodgates opened when you realized we had 27 viewers and no one had texted in 18 minutes.
I just got to check Ustream more often. Lancers down 4 here. Alma Pepin calls, I believe, their first time out of the game, probably. Head coach Lauren Miller. At the beginning of this season, Lauren Miller, this is his first year in this stint as varsity head coach for the boys. He was the girls head coach a couple years back when Abby Hine and Joel Ullman and
Rachel Schaser
and all those girls ran the joint. He was the Alma Pepin girls coach.
Carmeyer.
Carmeyer. At the beginning of this year, though, Alma Pepin had some pretty low boys numbers because I don't think the coach was that well received by the players. So they ended up hiring Coach Miller, and they got a team assembled of 12. Couldn't get a JV together. That's why there's only been a varsity game tonight.
Which I am very sad about.
You really wanted to play that JV game.
Yeah.
Hypothetical JV game. The Lancers' man defense has been working for them lately. Height and Carroll have new defenders as Sotnick and Sito have switched. We got a foul on the Lancers here.
That'll be Sam's third, I believe.
Sam Lisak.
Calls on the Manuals number 14, Sam Lisak. That's his third personal, team 6.
I think Jim Lau just said 13. He's number 14.
Oh, well.
Whatever. Jim does a great job. Into hockey. Hockey against Gamble. Can't get it to go. Gets his board. Gets another one. 3 chances. This time, he'll put it away.
Got to box out.
Hockey with 19.
Especially someone who can jump really high.
18 on 2s. Sito in. Layup's no good.
Rejected by the rim.
Again, Brian trying to force the drive there. It's a good idea in theory, just not enough space and time in the air for him. Height pulls up from the elbow. Height has not been able to shoot tonight. That one's no good. David Hine gets the jump ball. And possession will reverse for the Lancers.
Lancers need to start boxing out more so they can stop getting putbacks, which are scoring for the Alma Pepin Eagles.
There you go, James. 15 of the Eagles' 52 points have come from the three-point line as they've had 5 makes, but they've had a ton of 2s inside as they've only made 2 free throws. So 35 points coming inside the arc. Brian Sito again missing the three-pointer there.
Eagles doing a good job of boxing out.
Quick possession for the Lancers leads to only 1 shot and a quick rebound for the Eagles. Ben Miller in. Hine and Albrecht with the defense. I believe Albrecht's going to get called on a foul. His third.
Good help, D. Just, you don't want to foul him.
Yeah.
Calls on Manuals number 22, Jordan Albrecht. That's his 4th personal, team 7. At the line, shooting 2, Ben Miller.
That is a shooting foul. The Eagles are in single bonus, though, so any foul next time, other than an offensive foul by the Lancers, I believe.
Well,
a charge.
Yeah, charge.
Yeah, like an illegal screen sometimes brings about a 1-and-1.
That happened at Oliva, right?
Yeah. Or maybe it was the last home game, Gilmanton.
I think it was Oliva.
Okay. Hockey gets the board, dribbles around, pulls up the shot, drains it. So after the 1-and-1 attempt no, that was 2 free throws from Miller on the shooting foul. He couldn't get either of them to go. It ends up still being a 2-point possession as Hockey puts it down. They try to force the pass to Sito. Height with the steal. Height one on a bunch, and he ends up getting it down low. Brian Sito ends up with the ball going out of bounds. Hockey now has 21 points.
2 more 2s, and we have run out of space.
Yes. We'll see if he gets past his total of 24 from the overtime contest in Pepin about a month ago. Hockey goes baseline. Pulls up backwards. No good. That's over the back. As the Lancers fans have a little bit of outrage. Gamble does end up getting the board. That's why it wasn't more vocal. Brian Sito. 4-3.
Only down 5 now, which is very 2 shots.
2 shots.
Unless they're both 2s.
The Lancers have been pretty cold from the three-point line tonight. Haven't taken too many. They've made 3. Riley's 1 for 1. Brian's 2 for probably about
Riley's
7.
1 for 2.
Riley's 1 for 2? Okay.
Yeah, he missed one down that corner.
All right, yeah. Riley's like 5 for 9 on the year, though. He made 4, I think he was 4 for 4
yeah,
against CFC.
He was 4 for 4 against CFC. One was a blue line shot.
Yeah, before tonight, he was 4 for 7 on the year. All 4 makes coming in that CFC game, so really impressive shooting. A couple Fridays ago. Lancers down 5 here, as they've cut that big lead. At one point, what was it, James? 15, 16? It was 12 and a half.
Oh.
They've had a good second half here. Starters are out for the Eagles, as Scary has 4. I was trying to count how many 2s there were.
Oh.
Sounds like. Press here for the Lancers. It looks like, well, we don't know if it's man or zone until really a pass comes in. It's looking like they're going to shift back into man. Sotnick on Miller. Miller working it down the floor. Carroll goes left. Looking for Hockey. Hockey pressured by Gamble. Hockey does have some ball handling, but if Gamble stays clean and has a lot of pressure, he's most likely not going to get driven on. Height dishes to Carroll. Carroll goes left in to the hoop and one.
Lancers should probably stop fouling.
Yeah.
At the line, shooting 1, Logan Carroll.
Brian's third. Logan Carroll can get the and 1 to go. Here's Brian in transition. Gives it to Sodnick. Over to Hine. Hine with the runner short. He gets his own board and scores.
Manuel only down 5 again.
David should just let that go.
Yes.
And he does.
No point in diving into the bleachers.
And now they get the ball down low instead of taking it inbounds.
Lancers with 2 minutes left to score 5.
Yeah, they were taking some time on that last Eagles possession. Carroll just had to attack the lane and score as he did. Sito open from the free throw line. Good shot there. Here's Gamble at the board. Sito left corner 3. Good! And it's a 2-point deficit for the Lancers. Height beats Sotnick. And Sotnick back on D.
Don't foul unless completely necessary.
Yeah, if it's going to be a wide open look. The pressure's up for the Lancers right now. John reaches in there on Hockey. That'll be John's third. It does put Hockey at the line, though, with a 1-on-1 situation.
Couldn't make it a 2-shot game if he sinks both of them.
Hockey's made 1 free throw tonight. I can't remember if it was on a shooting foul or a 1-on-1, but the Eagles have only made 2 on the night. So then, as Hockey makes the third.
I believe last game at Alma, someone made 12 free throws.
I think it was him.
I think it was Hockey.
Yeah, I can look up the stats for that game. He misses that one. He gets 1 of 2 as he gets the front end, but
Lancers only down 3.
Here's Sito. Gives to Gamble. I'll get you those stats at the next dead ball. There will be one, presumably. Gamble back to Sotnick up top. Albrecht really posting up. He's got to get out in the 3 seconds. He does. Brian for 3. Brian Sito chose the right time to heat up. He was taking ill-advised threes just about 2 minutes of game ago. Had assistant coach Radicals with his hands in his, or his hands on his face in his hands. Crowd taking over from me. And he had his assistant coach Radical with his hands in his face, or his face in his hands.
This game, I I can remember one game that has probably been more intense, and that was AC Lincoln a year ago.
Yeah, and 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Both were really close.
Well, a year ago we were commentating.
Oh, yeah. I was here for the one 2 years ago.
Oh, I wasn't. So.
Sorry about that. Hockey made 8 free throws in their last matchup. 8 for 11 from the line. So a third of his points, a third of his 24 came from the charity stripe.
Lancers need to stop here.
Very familiar situation here. It's more like 2 years ago, actually, where the Lancers lost on the buzzer beater. We'll try to keep going, but the crowd might drown us out. Here's hockey. Will they stick with last shot? Ball screen. Here's Carroll. Carroll goes in, gets Gamble to jump, and scores. Good look by Carroll.
You don't need a 3.
No, they do not. They can force overtime. Will Tom Williams call timeout? Does he have timeouts? I'm not sure. Sino needs help. Gets it to Hine. Here's Hine on the drive. Foul is Carroll's second. David Hine looking to shoot for the lead here.
Oh my.
A great drive by David.
Oh my.
It's a fantastic drive into the hoop. Alma Pepin as a team made 22 free throws in that first matchup on January 25th. Tonight they've made 3. The Lancers made 6 that night. Tonight the Lancers have also made 6, so not much changing there.
David Hine needs to be... He doesn't need to. We will go into overtime if he misses. Well, hopefully.
Well, the Eagles do have 10.9 seconds. That is a big.
Yes.
That is a big if. How do they play it? I believe if David makes it, they'll probably call timeout. That seemed way too short.
Yeah.
For Lauren Miller to give that was depth of a plan.
That was more of an icing David than a set up a play.
Did they call? Oh, it was them call timeout.
Yes.
Okay. I'm really bad about that. Hearing which team calls timeout. David looking to take the lead here for the Lancers. No good. Campbell with the board. He gets blocked. It'll be out of bounds.
But it's Lancers ball.
7.7 remaining. David can't get the free throw to go. No matter. The Lancers will have a look from the floor.
John Gamble with a good board there. Hockey just went up really early.
Hockey went up super early. Tried to tip it. I'm not sure what he was doing. But the tip didn't end up working. Gamble grabs the offensive board, gets stuffed.
The block may have been a good thing. Like,
yeah, you set it up. I mean,
you can set up a play.
Gamble's not the greatest free throw shooter if he would have gotten fouled.
Waste a bit more time off the clock, and that way Alma doesn't have transition to like get an open shot down there. It'll most likely.
Well, if Alma Pepin's not gonna be looking to foul.
No. Obviously,
yeah. Gamble's not the greatest free throw shooter. He's 11 for 42 on the year. That's actually kind of terrible.
Yeah.
26.2%. The worst percentage on the Lancers, except Nick White, who's 2 for 9 at 22.2. So room 302 is not shooting so well on the year.
Ben Albin's technically 0, but
he's 0 for 0 though. That's undefined.
100%.
Maybe.
Glass half full, Gunny. Glass half full.
All right. So the Lancers will have 7.7 seconds. If a buzzer beater is hit, this place will go crazy. If we go to overtime, which seems to be the most likely scenario, who knows?
If a buzzer beater is hit for Alma,
that would be tragic.
The place will go silent, most likely, except for Alma fans.
It would go crazy for Alma. Sino gets it on the box play. He'll be throwing up the shot, I guarantee it. The 2 is no good. Overtime, here we go.
Oh, man.
And for the second straight meeting between these two teams, we will need an extra period of play to decide the winner. Back on January 25th, it was Alma Pepin by 12. 87-75 was the score.
But on that game, Alma Pepin had all the momentum going into that overtime.
That's true. You do want to be tempted to say the Lancers do have all the momentum here. They have more, certainly.
Brian Sitto, I know he was probably pretty confident he could make that shot, but he had 7 seconds.
Believe it or not, most people that watch the Lancers know they're not too high scoring of games. Last Tuesday at Oliva, they scored 63. But the last home game against Gilmanton, I can't remember what they scored, but they've got 59 here tonight after 36 minutes of play. In that game at Pepin, they had 69 at the end of regulation. Ended up getting beaten, or outscored 18-6 in the overtime period. They're hoping that's not the case here. Things to remember as we head to overtime. James Sterry with 4 fouls. The Eagles will like to keep in their starters for only 4 minutes, not that long. But if Sterry does get foul out, that could be a thing to watch for the Lancers on offense.
What a game for senior night.
It was a junior coming up huge, my roommate David Hine, with that bucket. I was saying all day, I was just chanting jokingly that it was David night. I might have foreseen something. Lancers with the ball off the 1 tip by Gamble. I did not see that well. Gamble goes baseline, not a lot of space down there. It gets blocked by Carroll. And not the greatest first possession for the Lancers. Not a bad look.
Gotta play some solid D, no fouls, no easy shots.
I'm not sure if fouls carry over into overtime.
I believe they do.
Reverse layup from Miller gives the Eagles the lead again. The Lancers still haven't had the lead since the first half. Brian Sitto for 3. That one's going to be no good. Hockey with the board. David Hine grabs it, and that's a foul. Not a jump ball, as Hine had secured possession. We got a 1-and-1 here. James was right about the fouls carrying over.
James is right. I don't hear that enough.
Hockey's second. So Hockey will be around for this overtime. Stereo was in that mix too. If it had been on him, that would have been a little more significant for the Lancers. David gets the front end. David's got 15 points.
That's a lot.
Most of which coming in the second half and overtime now with that one. Sotnick gets the board off of Albrecht's work.
Hine had like 4 points at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, he scored almost all of his points.
11.
Since the halftime break.
11 of his points.
Hine in. Oh, layup's just too strong off the rim. Sterry saves it. He gets it to Carroll. Eagles up 1. Miller kicks to Height. Height goes left. Pulls up Fader and drains it. Trevor Height's been cold for a while. That's his first made shot for seemingly a long time. He's at 9 points. And the Eagles are up 3. The temptation is to throw up a 3 for the Lancers, but they've got plenty of time. Sitto's open, however, and he'll fire. Brian's got 5 threes on the night, most of which coming in the last 4 minutes or so. We got a tie ball game.
Whenever Gunny says something, the opposite happens.
I should just say we're gonna lose. Anyways, we're supposed to be unbiased. We're not going to go to infinite amounts of overtime because that sounds fantastic.
1 overtime, please.
I'm good for 2. 2 sounds awesome.
How about triple, quadruple?
Yeah. As I said, David has 15 on the night. Brian has 15 from behind the 3-point line. He's got 21 total, which is just behind Caden Hockey with 22 for the most in the game. Albrecht has 12, Hine with 15, as we said. Sotnick had a ton early, hasn't scored since he had 9 early. Ryan and Gamble and Lisak all with 2. Look at the rest of the Eagles scores to you momentarily. We do have a player feature, the final of the season, on Brian Sitto to get to you post-game or maybe throughout the overtime
There's a
or
long
overtimes. Yeah, if there's a long timeout break, we got a full timeout. That was 30-second, I believe.
Or if there's time in between the first and second overtime, if there is a second overtime.
Halfway through overtime here. Carroll for three. A little strong. He grabs his own board. Up into Albrecht. He got a box out. Carroll scores. 65-63. Eagles. Hine dribbles out. 1:40 left in the overtime period. Jim goes a little quiet here as the Lancers are on offense. Gamble dribbles to the free throw line. Hine goes baseline on Sterry. Maybe looking to pick up that fifth foul. Albrecht pulls up. Drains an off-balance shot of sorts. And picks up points number 13 and 14. Tied at 65. Height goes in, no help. The D from Sotnick, not enough. As Height gets the bucket to go, and he'll have a free throw attempt. Every time the Lancers have tied it here in overtime, which is only twice, but every time they've tied it, including regulation, the Eagles have responded.
Never had the lead since the first half.
Yep. Not since really early. Height can't get that to go. It's tipped by Sterry. Gamble saves it. Sitto back the other way. Lancers down two. Sitto Euro steps. No good. Albrecht grabs the board.
Alma Pepin fans calling for a charge. I don't think he has feet set, but
maybe a smart no call from the refs.
I might be a little biased at this point.
James, quit it. As we said, they keep responding. Hockey for three. The final starter. The final starter to make a three for the Eagles is the big man. You got to respect the big man's range.
Travel called on John Gamble, but he was standing still.
So the Lancers?
I'm confused.
Suddenly all the life seems to be getting sucked out of the Lancers. They're down three. Turn the ball over.
Yeah, John didn't move. Nothing.
I've got your unbiased appeal here. I didn't see it. So, yep, Hockey is the final starter to hit a three for the Eagles. All five of them. Carroll with two, the rest with one. And Hockey's now at 25 points, which is one more than he scored on January 25th. Lancers down three here, playing pretty well in this overtime period. They have been outscored 11-8 thus far. It will be the Eagles' ball. We'll see if the Lancers will foul. It would put the Eagles at the line with two.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal. Although they have not been shooting free throws too well tonight. They've only made three. It seems like they've had around 8 or 9 attempts. Here's Height back in transition. Loses his dribble, regains. Height to Carroll. To Miller. They're looking to move the ball quick and not get fouled too quickly. And Hine will foul Sterry. Sterry to go to the line for two. He has not made one yet tonight. On the season, James Sterry is 13 for 31 with a 41.9% free throw percentage. That one's no good. At least before tonight, he was 13 for 31.
Lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, if the Lancers can get the board here, it's a good possession for them defensively. No good again. Albrecht with the board. Ahead to Sitto. Brian slows it down. They do need a three to tie it, or 3 points at least. Sotnick for three. No good. The board is grabbed by Hockey, and that might be it. Miller ahead. Loses it. Sterry. Followed by Gamble. Coach Miller was trying to get time out in there.
At the line, shooting two, James Sterry.
Sterry to shoot two again. He finally gets one to go on the night.
And that is most likely your dagger.
That's the vital one. As long as the Eagles don't foul, they really can't lose. They need a 4-point play. Riley's got to go up into him. The three's not going to work. Air ball. And the Eagles will take home the victory. A really well played game by both teams. Ends in heartbreak for the Lancers. This one was even worse than the one at Pepin. At least at Pepin, they really were getting dismantled in the overtime. There was a lot more hope in this one for the Lancers.
Also, tonight's senior night.
Tonight is senior night. It's a home game. Last home game of the regular season.
Well, yeah.
For these careers. Thorpe next Tuesday.
That's a home game.
Yep. Do your best to make it here. We'll let we'll do our best to get an announcement out. Right now, we don't expect to broadcast the game in any sort of medium, not even audio. It would be the same fee if we just did. Sorry,
somehow.
my bad. Did I pay you?
$250.
Yeah.
Appeared.
Yeah. Just on the doorstep of the school. All right, so
said broadcast club
I think we've gone through everything. It was senior night here tonight. Get another view of the
Brian Sitto.
of the six. Stop that.
No, Brian Sitto.
Oh, I thought you were like ripping on Brian or something.
No, Brian Sitto.
Yeah, we got a player feature here. The last one of the season. I'm glad we got through all of these. I think we got them all on time, except we had to do like a retake on John because we were missing stats that one game. Brian's stat sheet, look at it for a couple minutes. There's a ton to take in.
Not a lot of blocks.
His high on the season is 22 against Whitehall. He had 19 against Alma Pepin, as well as against Gilmanton at Gilmanton, which was a game in which the Lancers only scored 43 points. So he accounted for almost half in that game right before the Christmas break for the Lancers. He's only shooting 34.1% from the floor before tonight, and over half of his shot attempts have come from beyond the three-point line. He's 28.6% from three. As you can see, that is the same exact percentage as last year. 26 for 98 last year, 44 for 154 before tonight for Brian.
Has increased most of his stats besides blocks.
And shooting percentages, other than field goals, actually. His free throws have gone down, although he's a very good free throw shooter. Above 60% is great for this Lancers team.
Yeah, points went up a lot, rebounds went up a lot, assists doubled, steals doubled, blocks went down by 0.1%.
How dare he? He had 4 blocks last year, and he only has 2 this year. Averaging about the same for turnovers. He's a point guard, so 2.5 turnovers. It's not to be expected, like you can expect better, but it's not terrible.
Doesn't mean timeouts.
Means turnovers. He does not call 2.5 timeouts per game. I think Tom would get pretty mad if a player called almost, rounding up, 3 timeouts per game. I think he only gets like 6.
You know, there is that new rule in college basketball with like 30 seconds left, the coach can't call a timeout.
Really?
Only players can.
Weird.
So if like players are feeling like they're going to make it 3, they can't, the coach can't like ruin it by calling a timeout.
Yep, our final player feature for Brian comes on the night where we celebrate 12th graders, number 12, the 5'10 starting point guard. He's been on the varsity team technically for 4 years, I believe. He played some his freshman year. It might just be 3. He split time, mostly varsity, his sophomore year. He's played a couple JV games, and he's been full-time his upperclassman years. He's been a great contributor, and he'll be missed next year, as Lancers will turn to Jordan Roots and Seth Miller from the JV team to be their new point guards. Jordan will be a junior, Seth a sophomore, so you've got some time to develop those players.
I gotta go.
Thank you, Brent. Brent's heading out. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Seniors don't get exactly what they want. They come back out on the floor for pictures with their jerseys on.
Not looking the happiest.
No.
Campers.
End up losing 71-67. We'll go through some final stats and get a little recap, and we'll be out of here. The leading scorer on the night was Caden Hockey with 25. He's followed on his team. Logan Carroll had 16. Trevor Height with 11. Ben Miller had 10. And James Sterry with, 6. And 5 of those were the first 5 points of the game. So Sterry only scored 1 more point the rest. At Pepin, there was only 6 scores for the Eagles, and tonight there was only 5, which were the 5 starters. For the Lancers, it was Brian Sitto leading the way with 21. Jonah Albrecht with 16. David Hine with 15. Riley Sotnick with 9. Lisak, Ryan, and Gamble all with 2. Matt White with the injury. We'll get an update well, I guess we don't have another broadcast. If you can check the stat sheets from the crossover to see if he plays. I doubt he'll play, as the crossover doesn't mean anything really, other than another prep game for the playoffs. But check the stats from the Thorpe game, see if Matt got back. Really entertaining game, James, huh?
Yep. I'm going to leave now, though, because I have family down there.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Heartbreaker for the Lancers leaves them at 11-9 on the year.
Should probably show them what we look like.
With a 7-7 conference record. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Have a good night. Have a safe night. Congrats to Alma Pepin.
Yep. Tip of the cap to you.